Hello to all my subscribers and new viewers, here with you MatWeek.
As I noticed, you seem to like the section where I find mistakes and inconsistencies in the sets of our favorite Lego Ninjago. So now you are watching the third part. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel with a bell. Do you remember Woo Crew? It's a promotional campaign for Ninjago created in 2016. It lasted all the way through season 11 and managed to leave a pretty significant mark on the history of the franchise. There was even created a whole series of videos dedicated to this theme, and the emblems themselves appeared in 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 seasons, as well as magazines. In general, the theme was, you could say, the prototype of Legacy and Core, which just came to replace Woo Crew, and naturally, all this could not but get embodied in the form of sets, and to be more specific, several polybags, foil packs and such strange boxes. Who knows what they are properly called? Write in the comments. The point is that in these sets, there were ninja figures in exclusive Woo Crew costumes, first in white and then in black. And the problem is that they've never appeared in the animated series, unless you count the FMS, who was in the dark kimono version at the end of season 10. Season 13 is the only season that is dedicated to Cole, and in the animated series, he got a whole stone mech. But in the set, the designers didn't want to give all the laurels to Ninja Cole, so the Earthman not only have to share the robot with Kai, but it even looks more than half owned by the Fire Ninja. Seriously, it's not even Cole controlling it here. What the fuck, Lego? Until now, a huge number of people in the community consider season 1 of Ninjago Rise of Dragons 17. And I'll tell you a secret, it's fundamentally wrong. If you have the same wrong opinion, you cannot be too upset. The editors of Ninjago magazines, as well as you, have no idea what the number of this season is. If you're thinking right now, yep, it's Lego magazines and you're some blogger. Even Chris Wyatt, new Ninjago writer, said he'd like to talk to the editor of the magazine about this shit. Anyway, it's blatantly non-canon and a season at the very first. In general, this is not the first such case of inconsistencies of information from magazines with the series. Von Legacy magazines are still sold, although the sub-series itself is long out of production, and their shove figures on Core, which is already closed, and a good question, what will they put there now? But we're getting away from the main topic of the video. If we go back to Dragons Rising, there are quite a few inconsistencies to be found here as well. Wrong division of ninja masks. Different hammer of Ras and Hound. She is perhaps the most prominent non-canon representative in the Lego Ninjago sets of the second half of 2023. She doesn't resemble the serialized prototype called Fotak at all. Their only similarity is the pose, which both versions have, so that's a coincidence. Lloyd DX has only been seen once in the 2015 Lego Bricktober giveaway, and have you seen he have this costume in the animated series? Personally, I haven't, which means it's definitely non-canon. Just like Morrow's cloak and mask in the same year's Destiny's Bounty. They weren't in the cartoon either, and it turns out the flyer version of the Morrow is more canon than the one in the expensive set. Biggest theme of Lego Ninjago is spinners, and no, I'm not saying that they are completely different from the ones in the series, although they are. If you've ever watched an animated series where this technique appeared, you might have noticed that it was used only by ninjas, Sensei Wu Garmadon, Dublin and maybe a couple of other people, but not by skeletons and serpentines. Remember how there were many sets in which the antagonists also had their spinners and opposed the ninjas, which is a violent violation of canon, although it is still worth admitting that without it the game would be much more boring. Such an example is just the Spinner's Legacy, which looked like they were identical to the serial, and of the villains here spun only Garmadon, which does not violate anything, but long to play with them did not work, not only because of the inconvenience of spinning and limited functionality, but also because of the lack of most of the opponents. They tried to solve these problems already in the second half of the year. They made a trigger mechanism, added the Forbidden Eyes Samurai spinning and Kai. And if you remember, in season 11 he could not use this technique at all, but in the Lego Welcome,
a polybag called Dareth vs Nindroid, you remember it, right? A beautiful polybag with a brown ninja figure that's not worth much nowadays, but the image on the bag. How could Dareth get a Nindroid in there? Okay, just kidding, of course, the Brown Master is stronger than the FSM. Well, without jokes, many polybags are really non-canon. There's nothing to explain, you understand everything. And what inconsistencies of the sets with the series you noticed exactly? Write in the comments. I read everything. Sayonara.